Psych Rockets.
Psych Rocket.
Psych Rocket.
All right.
We're here.
We're back.
Today's topic: successful people that don't drink. So, Dermot, you want to go first? Should I go first? I got a list of like 300.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, it's gonna be a long video.
Celebs who stop drinking, or famous people who stop
Famous
drinking?
people, celebrities, just successful people. Maybe you don't think they're successful. Maybe I think they are, but so I'll go first. Let's start with athletes, or I guess this athlete has done a lot. Bruce Lee, one of the most famous martial artists ever. I think he's probably the famous. He's someone that I look up to a lot of his sayings and beliefs. And he's not just a martial artist. He also is an actor. He was a philosopher. He made some of his own films. Never drank. Pretty
Wow.
cool. Pretty awesome.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You can't look at it. Just looking at how, if you want to perform at your peak, boy, alcohol is not gonna get you there. It'll
guy
do the
was
exact
fast.
opposite. He was so. So funny thing about his films is that he usually, when people fight, they have to speed up the frames in the film. When he fought, he moved so fast they had to slow the film down, and it still looked that fast.
Wow.
Pretty crazy, right? Can't do that with alcohol.
Is that where they got slow motion replay from?
Most likely. What do you got, Dermot?
I don't think I have any athletes, but the
Yeah.
first guy I had was Stephen King. I've read a few of his books. I haven't read all of them, but I remember one of his movies that scared the absolute shit out of me when I was a kid was Cujo.
Never heard it.
It's funny, when I was researching him, he barely remembers writing Cujo. Cujo was a book and made into a movie about this big dog. I think it might have been a Saint Bernard. I don't know. I just remember watching this movie as a kid about this dog that went nuts, and this family that were trapped inside their car, and the dog was after them and ready, like blood around its mouth.
I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight.
It was a whole movie about this like killer dog, and I don't know. I don't think I've watched it since I was a kid because I have such bad memories of it.
Okay.
But I guess Stephen King was drunk as hell when he wrote it, he stopped, I think, in the late 80s. His family staged an intervention with him,
Wow.
and
Interesting.
he hasn't drank for quite a while. So, who you got next?
My next one actually used to drink also and did drugs is Robert Downey Jr. If you all know him probably from Iron Man, he's done a bunch of movies. He was in and out of rehab apparently between about 1996 and 2001, and now, after all of his accomplishments, he has been ranked on Forbes. He's topped Forbes as one of the most paid actors, highest paid actors between June 2014 and 2015. It's incredible what can happen once you stop and you can. He got his shit together. He probably really wanted to do things, but alcohol and drugs were stopping him. He finally was able to accomplish his dreams.
Yeah, I read about him. He done a lot of drugs and
Yep.
alcohol with his dad,
Really?
Robert Downey.
Oh my God.
Senior, apparently.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go, son. Let's get messed up.
So you're done with him. My second guy here I had was Eminem, Marshall Mathers. Great rapper, probably one of the best rappers, maybe of all time.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Interesting thing about him, he had to find a whole new way to perform without the influence of drugs or
Really?
alcohol. Yeah,
Huh.
he realized that he was shy. He was a little embarrassed about going on stage. He was always either high or drunk or both. When he was writing his songs or going on stage or whatever. And when he gave up, I did hear that he got big into fitness, and don't quote me on it, but he might have developed some kind of running habit, like
That's
almost
interesting.
addictive, like treadmill running. That might have become a problem. Also, like replace one habit with another.
Yeah.
He is clean and sober and doing well. And
Good for him.
yeah.
My next one, love him or hate him, Mr. Donald Trump. Never drank, according to what I have found. He's never drank. So he ran the Trump organization, did all kinds of real estate and other things for 4.5 decades. He stopped until 2017, and now he is the 45th president of the United States. Around 2017, he was calculated net worth at $3.5 billion. So, if you want to make some money, alcohol might not be the best solution. Just saying. And my next one, I go right into the next one. Again, it's about money. Warren Buffett doesn't drink either. He is probably considered one of the most successful investors ever in the world. Doesn't drink. Do you think alcohol would help him or hurt him?
Well, given his track record, I think it would probably hurt him now if he took it up.
Yeah.
He'd have plenty of money to buy a few rounds, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. What do you got, Dermot?
Next guy I have is Al Pacino, which is kind of funny because in my mind, when you look at the guy or listen to him,
yeah, you think he's always wasted.
It sounds like he's wasted.
That's his secret, though. He's naturally wasted.
All over the place. A quote from him: "I'm never sober. I don't want to be sober. I just don't drink," which is kind of interesting.
That's really interesting. It's there's like sober and drunk doesn't exist. It's just him.
Yeah.
I like that.
He almost has he does have a kind of drunk personality, I just thought that was interesting. I just don't.
That's
drink.
really good.
Yeah,
I just don't drink.
Yeah.
I love it. My next one. Probably not the most famous, at least nowadays, Buzz Aldrin. If you're talking about accomplishments, he was an American engineer, and then if the name doesn't ring a bell, he was one of the first people to land and walk on the moon. Okay?
I think he was the second, or maybe
I think he was the second person to walk on the moon. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think he would have been able to.
He was smart because he knew it was safe. He let the first guy go, and then he said, "Oh, okay."
That's right. That's what happens. You're clear-headed. You don't drink, and you're like, "Okay, you go first. I'll see what happens." But yeah, what do you got? Anyone else, Dermot?
So I have next a fellow Irishman, Colin Farrell. I haven't heard about him in quite a while, but I guess he was a drinker and interesting. He was worried he couldn't talk to women as he hadn't uttered a sober word in 15 years. You're Colin Farrell. I don't think you have to worry about women. You'll figure it out there. But he beat his whatever drinking addiction he had. I'm not sure if he was into drugs or not, but I guess he's still making movies. Have you heard of him recently?
I haven't, no.
Yeah. Maybe he's made enough money and he's happy living a sober life.
That'd be great.
Which is good. The last guy I have here is Eric Clapton. One of my favorite musicians. I did know that he had stopped, but I didn't realize the whole story behind it until I read up on it. I guess he stopped 30 years ago now, 1987, after numerous attempts to quit. And the reason he quit was a little similar to my own, in that he wanted to quit mostly for his son, who tragically died when he was 4, a little bit after he achieved sobriety. And you'd think that would be the trigger for him to go back into drinking, and who would blame him? I couldn't imagine, if your son tragically passes away at such a young age. But I guess in one of his meetings he talked about it after his son had passed away, and how he just said, I'm not going to drink anymore. I started this while he was born for him, and what a better way to honor his life. What better way to honor his life by continuing not drinking. And a lot of people there in his group came to him and said, you're an inspiration. If that doesn't trigger you to drink, then I'm definitely not gonna get back on the wagon or whatever. So he's continued up to this day, and obviously very still successful, and he's got arthritis in his hands now, so he can't play as well. Well, forgive me, I'm wrong. He still plays very well, but I think he's gonna retire this year because the arthritis in the fingers and stuff. I'm sure it's hard to play guitar, but good for Mr. Eric.
That's awesome that he just, because most people, something bad happens, what do? Straight for inebriation, right? Straight for the bottle, straight for the booze. Even if they're sober, something bad happens, they're off the bandwagon. He went the exact opposite way, and it inspired everyone else to do the same thing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the way you should
Yeah.
go. I mean, it didn't work for you before, and if something tragic happens or something bad happens, nothing's, that's not going to do any good for you. It's not going to change,
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah. So I wanted to just finish up with a note. One of the things that helped me personally in stopping drinking is looking at other people. I'm big on modeling, so if I can see someone else do something, I'll know it's possible, and then I'll go for it, right? I have got that certainty that it's possible because someone else has done it. So I've seen all these successful people in whatever category, be it athletes, money, businessmen, actors, presidents of the United States. You can see that they're so successful in whatever they want, and they don't need alcohol in their life whatsoever. And I think that's kind of inspiring. That's what inspired me to stop, and that's one of the things that helped me a lot. I saw that, and I just went for it. So final words is, if you think you can't live a good life without alcohol, you are mistaken. Many other people have done it, and you can too.